Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. On time today. Eat it, everyone who calls me Lairdinho. I'm back after 2 days off, which is really like 4 days off because was it 4? 1, 2. Did I work Wednesday? I can't even remember. I feel like I haven't worked in forever, which is kind of like the way you should feel after taking a few days off. But yeah, we're back. We're back. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Jevc, Rude, and Pico Player on the podium. Congratulations, you three. Dealing with disappointment, Rude said, finally a drinking stream. You haven't watched nearly enough Sorare content if you think this is finally a drinking stream, although obviously not usually on this channel. Anyway, Pico Player said, although I don't know how podiuming Division 1 contenders a negative result and Lairdinho, which was not today, needs to cope with that disappointment. So I scheduled this stream before I saw that, and I will say that I'm not sure it's even going to hold anyway, so whatever. Philly Dilly, hello. If you are hiding your lineups, then you just need more lineups, and that is one of the best lines I have heard in quite a while. We should tell our good friend Harry Trades that, because let me see if I can pull it up here. Harry had a nice tweet. It wasn't so nice with him. I'll say it was a good-looking tweet. How about that? With a screenshot here, and he said, for the first time in 4 years, I've hidden every single lineup from a game week. And there he is, code Harry for 10% off a Sorare Data membership. But, man, it happens. It happens sometimes. Shout out to the hide button. Limpy can't watch this one live, so it's weird that I'm kind of like talking to Limpy, who's not actually here. But anyway, we'll definitely watch back later. I escaped relegation in Division 1 after Unnerstall got injured during the warm-up. Would be very disappointing. We'll get back to Unnerstall because he was a good example of what we'll talk about today. Stefan, what's up? Tuggy, good to see you. This show now co-hosted by our wives. That's a good one. Mikey Bassett in the house. Way to be. Daniel, Sorare Data have earned their like on the streams this week. Daniel also shouted out Sorare Data on Twitter. Daniel, I assume, is there a Premier League game today? I don't even know. But Daniel had a pretty good result. I don't want to, I feel like now I'm going to start to jinx it. I don't know. Anyway. Sorare Juju, what's up? I bought Leipzig and Dortmund at the start of the season, and so far it's been very disappointing. Return is about 10% for both teams, but I really like watching the games and having fun doing so. That's okay. I mean, it's okay to like buy stuff and have fun with it. Blue Tomatoes, what's up? Today in black, appropriate for the topic. This is actually a Sorare Data branded sweatshirt. I don't know why I got black. I just felt like it. Brones, what's up? Sorare Burrow. Rosenborg saved me 2 lineups out of 20. They've been great. Man, what a terrible time for that season to end for everybody with those cards and whatnot. And that's right, Harry. Beautiful screenshot. Brown said, I need a red card for Demerol. What are the chances? I mean, if he's playing, there's a chance. Agent Cooper, Captain Obvious here, but I think after 3 years of playing SO5, I've finally realized how difficult and unlikely it is for all 5 of your players to pop off. Accepting this makes disappointment easier. I mean, I think it's easier than you think, but not easy. How about that? Anion said, I just realized you missed the huge potential of a special stream with Black on Black Friday. Somebody mentioned that last week, and you're right. You're right. Sorare Soul, what's up? Sorare Strats, go in expecting disappointment, and you'll always be happy. So I get that, but man, nobody wants to go in with disappointment. Hope is what we all play for. It's not actually winning. It's the hope that makes this game so great. Ooh, Zibisk or Zybisk? Zybisk? I don't know. But hello. Hello. So you have a uniform now. I've worn this sweatshirt on stream before, and nobody's noticed it. So anyway. Hoodwink, hello. Hope you got another Jerseyman in. Investor Durr, what's up? So I will admit that my results this game week, as a result of what happened last night, changes the perspective a little bit, because I messaged Harry actually sometime this weekend. Harry, I think if you're still here, I can't remember whether it was Saturday, I think it was Sunday, because I was out most of Saturday. I think it was Sunday, and I was like, this is the worst game week I've had in a long time. And actually, in a separate Discord, Surface to Air Missile said the same thing, that he was having like hit the worst game week he's had in forever. And then things started to turn around for me a little bit. But I realized that, I mean, I didn't realize this just this game week, but the way that I play Sorare, I tend to play in a more high risk, medium reward way to play. But my strategy that I don't know if it's optimal. I think there's just not enough data to know, but I do know that it is risky in terms of how I like to have multiple versions of the same player. So for example, I'm trying to think of like one specific player I have, which I don't think I do, but like, for example, Elias Olafsson, which was the example from this weekend. I have a classic super rare, a classic rare, 2 classic limiteds, and an in-season rare. I think that's what I have. Let's look. Elias Olafsson. Yeah, okay. So for those of you who don't know, shame on you, but Olafsson is the starting goalkeeper for Midtjylland. And Midtjylland won 3-0 this weekend. And it was like, sweet, I should be doing really well. And it turns out I did not do very well because Olafsson was ill this weekend and did not play, and essentially tanked, as you can see, 4 lineups. I did not get him in a 5th lineup. And frankly, I don't remember why. The Thanksgiving holiday here in the States completely threw me off in terms of my lineups. I tried to do a bunch of them on Wednesday. And then Friday morning, I tried to do a little bit, but I was actually gone for the last like 90 minutes before the deadline. Olafsson was not known before the deadline anyway. But when I saw that he was out, I was like, man, that's probably 4 lineups that are just dead. And Midtjylland, again, they had a very good matchup. They won 3-0. And it was like, oh, great. That should be great. And it was not great because he was out. And so then I went from, oh, I should be doing really well to, oh, I'm going to be relegated. And I don't actually mind it. And actually, I pulled up the one lineup here. I actually had 2 DNPs because I also thought that Edward Chilufya, I just call him Chili, did not play either. And he was supposed to be, he did come back and then apparently decided not to play again. And so I had these like that Olafsson lineup, and here's another one with a Sam Larson ghost DNP. Who knows? I believe if Elianasi gets 100 today and he is starting, then I will avoid relegation in Division 1. You saw my first Olafsson lineup was in Division 1 Classic. Here's another one. I think this one will stick around. I don't know for sure. And then here's the in-season one where Jakob Briam, I believe, had 2 goals on Friday, or maybe it was Saturday. I don't know. It was before the Midtjylland game. And I was like, oh, we're cooking. And like, if you told me that I had a brace from Briam and they win and Midtjylland win 3-0 and Vlap has just kind of a standard and Twente win 3-2, I was like, oh, I win Challenger. And a bunch of people were like, oh, it's a low scoring week. Like that's great. And it was low scoring because I didn't have any players that played. I mean, obviously they played, but so I don't hide lineups anymore. And that's more of a me thing now because when I sometimes go back to old game weeks, I want to make sure that I had like all my lineup show. That's just a me thing. But what I think is really important when you have a game week that ends up being disappointing is understanding where it went wrong. And sometimes, and I don't want to say most times, because some people are just lazy or they're bad at the game, but there are some times where it's just not your fault. And like Olafsson there completely unknown. He starts, when he's fit, he starts all the time. And we didn't know that he was ill before the deadline. So I have to look at that lineup. It's like, yeah, it's a bummer that I got relegated from Division 1 to Division 2, which was just a great parting gift by Midtjylland, who now go on like a 2.5-month break from league play. And I can just steam about that for a while. But it's like out of my control. And yeah, it's disappointing. And now I have to like get back into Division 1 somehow without Midtjylland for the next few months. And so I think it's really important that when you have these situations that you go back and you say, what was this bad process? Was it unlucky? Was it a risk that didn't pay off? And I find that that happens to a lot of people, that they then will blame the game on. And, oh, we need subs because the guy that I played, who was 50%, 60%, 70%, whatever you want to use, was supposed to play, and then he didn't because he was banged up a little bit. And I took the risk, and I don't want to have to deal with the consequences. And so it's Sorare's problem. Sorry, that's another topic. I don't even want, I've already gone now. But anyway, like, understand what happens. And even DNPs are like, I feel like there's this complaint that like a DNP means like an immediate relegation. And the Lars Unnerstall one, that came into my mind because I had replied to somebody on Twitter who was like, yeah, the Unnerstall DNP got me and I'm going to get relegated. And then I saw the rest of the lineup and they were at like 350 points without Unnerstall. And I was like, did you get relegated? And they were like, no, but I almost did. And they didn't almost get relegated at all. They were fine. And like that stuff happens, and injuries happen in football. And we try to kind of figure out a way that we can play this game with like less risk. And the more we do that, the more we just put ourselves in risky situations anyway. And that's not to say like playing a guy who like always starts, like Anion here. My Bayern stack got relegated because of the early Kane sub off and no clean sheet. It happens going again next week, better chances to win in the lower divisions in my mindset. So like Kane obviously went off injured. And what did he finish with? Like, it's funny to me to be like, oh, it was Harry Kane's injury and the lack of the clean sheet. And it's like, well, if they like the lack of the clean sheet like happens. So like Kane scored 36 points, but like he's had other games where he scored low. And like, again, away to Dortmund is probably not the place where you thought you were getting 100. Like at St. Pauli, he scored 36. Like he can have bad games sometimes. Like it happens. Away to Frankfurt, 39.9. Home again. Well, Leverkusen is probably a pretty good matchup. And like, yes, you expect higher from Kane. But like if Kane had just scored 36 in 90 minutes, like it happens. And you lost, and they didn't get the clean sheet. Like you're relegated, and away to Dortmund. Like you probably should get relegated. So basically ban the drama queens. This isn't even like the drama queen stuff that we're dealing with today. Investor Der said, risk is part of the game. It makes it actually more exciting. Aren't you excited before a match just because your 5 picks play? So like without the risk, you wouldn't have that exciting moment. It is kind of funny that like that brings excitement. Like, oh, all 5 are actually starting. And but I mean, it is sometimes. Brun said, sometimes disappointment turns around. Selke benched but scored last minute. Oliver Torres, negative 15 AA, scored last minute, leading to my first unique podium this season. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. So yeah, it's just like, I feel like reviewing that, and I'm not like here to like call Anion out for that, but it's like your Bayern stack got relegated because it didn't score enough. Like the Kane sub, obviously, like if he plays more, he probably scores more. But like they also conceded, and so you don't get the clean sheet, and it's a league that it's a competition that only has 18 teams in it. And so there are only so many places you can go. And when one team does poorly, and this week it was Bayern, like those are the consequences that you deal with. Anyway, let's go back to the chat. Palmwood said negativity on day 1 and 2 of the advent calendar really gripes me. Genuinely, what are people expecting? Free money? Yes, they are. Sorare Soul thought this stream was prepared in advance for Hoodwink on the expectation Daegu were relegated. Does Cecina play in K2 if they get relegated? Palmo said, I find one of my players will always do their best to screw me over. So I think the one thing we have to understand is that this does happen, that there are professional footballers throughout the world who know our Sorare lineups and have bad games just in spite of us. It's almost like they know I'm on for a big score and then do a Zelenica on Friday against Veresden. Yeah, they do. It's not even like a conspiracy. Like they absolutely meet about it and they choose different Sorare managers each week. And they're like, oh, he needs, all right, you pull up lane, just like a little hammy. And then next week you get the 100 when they don't play you. Mike said multiple of the same keeper is surely sadomasochistic. It might be. Might be. It's also laziness. Investor, frankly, if the DNP is due to something I couldn't possibly know, I don't get disappointed. I mean, it's okay to be disappointed, but to be like the game needs to change because of this, I don't know. I'm just not there yet. And I've had plenty of relegations or missed opportunities because of DNPs that couldn't be seen. Hoodwink said, I didn't risk Tav this week. He scored 100 and cost myself a T1. So it's funny that you say that. So I did something similar with Sav, Teji, Sevigny. I assume that's how you say his name, who also got hurt, but was like questionable coming into the game. It was Friday. It was like the one thing I changed on Friday. So I had him in a lineup in my champion in-season Division 2 lineup. Let's see if I can find that one. Is this it? Yeah, it was this lineup. So I actually originally had him in this lineup instead of Andre Santos. And I bought Andre Santos this week on Friday. Maybe it was Thursday. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Yes, I bought Santos and I moved Sevigny down here. This is champ in-season Division 4. This was Division 2. And I had him somewhere else. I had him in this lineup here, Champ Classic Division 3. But he didn't train all week. And I actually, when I did this lineup, I forget who played first. I think Mandanda did. I could be wrong. And Davidashvili played against Mandanda, which is just what I did because I was in Division 4. But I realized how dumb it was to captain the player who was like most questionable. And I was kind of like, well, this lineup needs to do, like, if this lineup does well, like he has to play. And if he doesn't play, then it's dead anyway. And I've learned, well, obviously D4, I can't get relegated. So maybe that's why I did it. But it made me realize that like captaining the guys who are questionable is really bad process. Because with the 50% captain bonus, it's so much more valuable to get that on a player who actually scores points as opposed to like, had he scored, it would have been great. Mike said, in simple terms, is this like rabbit hunting, but stopping the process at the point of who could have played and who could have won? Yeah, rabbit hunting is just like, yeah, that's the result of rabbit hunting is like, what could I have won? And this point is not the issue. It's more looking back at maybe the lineups that you got relegated or the ones that didn't work. And if there is something in there that like was in your control, oh, this guy, the matchup was actually not nearly as good as I thought it was. And like, what made you think that matchup was good? Or specifically like the injury risk. Did you have Teji Sevigny somewhere and benefited from that. Whereas like in another lineup, maybe whoever that other player was didn't play, and you're kind of like, oh, I nailed it with Teji, and the other one, you're just like, oh, I can't believe that happened to me. Like yeah. Hoodwink said, Daegu staying up, never a doubt. Yeah, there we go. Oh, they're safe now. Oh, okay. Great. So Cecinius rares were going for sub 9 pounds at one point. I know, because I tried to trade one of mine. Like, how about this is this bad process for me? Since we'll talk about me. This is Cecinia. And I bought a Cecinia in-season card on September 30th. Since then, so his scores until September 30th, so it was the middle of this game week when he had 95. So he was at 91, 68, 60, 74, 88, 95. And before anybody's like, yeah, well, you don't buy like previous scores. I know. I actually have a classic Cecinia. And I was like, I needed more flexibility with my lineups because I had Barco, Wendell, and Douglas Santos at the time, who I wanted to play an in-season. And if I played Cecinia in an in-season lineup, then I couldn't play one of those. And literally since I got Cecinia, he scored a 79.8. His 65, I couldn't play because it was a midweek and I didn't have a full lineup. And then he got hurt and 3 straight DNPs. And now the season's over. And I paid, what did I pay for this card? $60? 67. Oh my God. Bummer, dude. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway. At least the disappointment of Barco's 100s every week for everyone in Contender D1 is now over for 3 months. Didn't realize how many people were really done up by Franco Petrolio this week. Sorry, there was a comment before. I'm trying to find it. I've lost it. Oh, well. Somebody was talking. It was about the Christmas special. Are we going to talk about the Christmas special edition drama? What is the drama? You should get a Sorare Data t-shirt with that printed on it. It's your tagline. You aren't buying past scores. But no, this is really all about like going through and figuring out if your process was bad or not. And I feel weird saying that because I went into the game week on Friday. Oh, I got pushed down somewhere. Contender Classic. I got pushed down. Tier 5 super rare. That'll be fun. So I went into the game week just like I didn't feel great about my lineups because my regular lineup process was totally thrown out of whack. I tend to do it I get ahead on some lineups, but I do a bulk of them on Thursday nights. And Thursday was Thanksgiving here in the States. And just like I wasn't doing anything. And like I wasn't doing anything Sorare related. And then I woke up early Friday morning and I actually had to leave Friday to do something. Well, like 2 hours before the deadline. Hour and a half or so. And so I do a lot of like last minute tinkering, including that Teji one. And I was just all thrown off. And I was like, I went into the game week with very little hope and didn't end up winning anything. Like I had low expectations, but it's weird when you have low expectations because you still have expectations. You still want to win something. I had the lineups in, like I thought I could do it. And it was just weird because not that I go into every game week with like loads of expectations, but I just didn't feel confident in my lineups this week because I didn't have the time to put into them. And sometimes that happens. Server said having a guy with 90% chance gets sick was annoying before, but now it's a fun multiple weeks long. Now it's a fun killer for multiple weeks. There are too many DNPs for the current gameplay. It's not working, in my opinion. Nothing to do with the process. I don't think I don't think the 90% sick guy, the guy who is 90% to start and gets sick has anything to do with process. Like, I agree with that. And Andy said buy guys with good immune systems, which definitely fits into the craft good cards, spectrum of Sorare advice. But maybe he's not wrong. Maybe he's not wrong. And also the guy that, like, Elias Olafson's a goalie. Like, he just stands there, like a little cough, and like, come on, not. I feel bad making fun of somebody who's like sick, but anyway. Yeah. Brown said all Christmas cards were showing a special edition collection bonus for around 24 hours, which was announced as a bug today. Only the animated ones are special, as stated in the blog yesterday. Okay. Yes, I saw that. It was a conversation in the Sorare Scandinavia Discord, and everyone's like, oh, they're all special edition. I sent them like a screenshot from the blog, or maybe it was just a copy and paste. And it was like 10% are special edition. And everyone was like, no, they're showing as special editions. And it was like, okay. Yeah, I mean, the announcement with the details was correct. And like the visual bug, I think, is really bad from Sorare to have, because there are people who bought cards because they thought it got the bonus because it showed the bonus. But also, I don't know. I was dumb enough to buy 2 challenger cards yesterday. Not that I knew like a challenger special, like a bonus was coming, but like we had the contender bonus. Surely there was going to be a challenger one anyway. And yet I bought cards yesterday and didn't get the bonus at all. Yeah. Anion said a bug like that shouldn't make it into a live version. I mean, I can't speak to how they do anything. Like, I don't know. So I feel it's not my place to, I agree like that they should, that's something like that should have been caught, but I don't know. Investor said, I agree. It was not clear. I didn't take the risk just in case, but they can't hide behind a blog post when you clearly displayed something with a bonus. I mean, I think they can absolutely hide behind the blog post. And I think that's what they're going to do. If that's what they've done. But I also, like maybe you don't put this stuff out on a Sunday when nobody's working. I mean, maybe there are people working on Sunday. I don't know. But the Orange Jungle, which is a cool name, and welcome. The problem is the 24 hours till they announce their mistake. Yeah. I mean, I agree that it felt like a very big promotion to then like kind of go ignored for a day. And hopefully they learn from that. I think they've stopped kind of releasing stuff on the website on Fridays because they had an instance where like the site went down because they released something and it was near the deadline. But like they learn from those things. So hopefully they just kind of note what happens. If you're going to do something like that big, then maybe have some people around. But yeah, I mean, I definitely thought about buying, like when I saw that they were considered special editions on Sorare, it was kind of like, wait, so are they double special editions? Because like you said, you should get, like you said, 10% were special editions, but if these are coming, do you think they should refund people that bought them? No, I don't. I understand people probably want them though. But I get it. Like that sucks. Bruin said the blog also showed up an hour after the cards for some weird reason. Post the blog, then launch the cards, not the other way around. At least the special cards look cool. I didn't see the time of the blog. If employees do play Sorare, how do they not catch anything? Surely they would test things internally before rolling out to the entire platform. I mean, maybe this is just not something that's easily tested. And it's like they can't buy these cards ahead of us. So, but again, I'm in no position to speak on the internal workings of Sorare. Literally, like I know nothing about how they work. and the company I work for, which is obviously heavily dependent on Sorare in terms of data and information. And I'm guessing we work very differently than they do because they're a significantly bigger company. I think the cards look cool though. Yeah. I'm a little bummed that still that some of my cards can't be revealed. Like I bought this Julian Bass today and like he still doesn't have a picture. Nick Olai from Sparta. Like I started a collection and three of the guys I have, like don't even have pictures yet. Andrea said they could give the option to refund the card and get the money back. Difficult to know how feasible it is. Yeah, that's the point. Like I don't know how feasible it is. Cold Palmer looks sick. Fits perfect. I didn't see one, but let's look. Who's got one? Nobody's bought one. I guess I could have looked at limited. I don't know why I didn't just do that. Any day now. Like, does nobody open their cards? There we go. Yeah, I like it with the little frost on the side. It's cool. Kind of feels frozen. Is there any ice on the back of the card? Ooh, there is. Yeah, it's cool. Wee. Anyway, David Alves, I'm still waiting for a swap after they accepted the swap. Already past 7 days. That's a long time. I don't know why they are doing that. Just contact them again. I'm sure they like to be contacted over and over and over and over again. I'm just kidding. I mean, I would contact them again. That's really long time. There's no reason for that. Wally out said, I'm sick of Sorare. I'm going to say messing up with every update. I've bought over 130 cards because of the 50 points. That's a lot of you just like went nuts and bought all of these cards just for that. Wow. That's a lot of cards. GG's though. These are cool though. Ooh, little Rafinha. Ooh, Lo Celso. Because I thought the 50 points are massive. I mean, in fairness, every single one you bought could be special edition, right? Like, but yeah. I completely sympathize with you. But I think we've kind of don't realize like how it's not even OP. It's like how broken it would be if they all counted as special edition. That being said, I do think it's weird that they are releasing these cards that are different, but they're not special. They're just different. But yeah, I mean, again, like I can't do anything about it, and making a big deal out of it, I'm not sure it gets anyone anywhere. Meaning, like me making a big deal out of it, mostly because I kind of referred back to the blog, and the blog was fairly clear. But yeah, it's a disappointing, result for a lot of people. Investor said since day zero, different cards were considered special as far as I know. Yeah, like it's weird that they have these like different special edition cards. Like, why not just make them special? Mike Baston, genuine question. How long do you have to have been around to know that Sorare is unlikely to release any change / update perfectly? I mean, there have been plenty of implementations that were just fine. I mean, I think we just focus on the ones that end up being negative. I will say this: I like this new My Cards update for gallery and collections. It it's weird though that they like changing it from My Club to My Cards feels weird to me when you also make it part of your boxes, like when you put boxes in essence in here. Like why this feels more My Club than My Cards, even though like obviously your cards are your cards. I don't know. I'm not a branding guy though. Um, so yeah, I don't know. But I like the cards and it gives people to buy them. And that special that we have with $50,000 in um $50,000 in money just for limiteds, where 3,000 entries will win money, is fun. Makes it. Don't you miss your burger icon being predominant? Do I even still have it? Oh, I guess I do up here in the top. Thankfully. I didn't even think about it, Mike, to be honest. Maybe I'll make it my avatar instead, or whatever they call that thing. Can I even do that? Oh, we can. I'll show them, Mike. How do we do this? My Sorare settings, you think? Or ooh, settings. Burger. Oh, unsupported files type. Come on, guys. Come on. What do we think? JPEG? Of course it's JPEG. It's so rare. Use JPEG. Okay, let's try that again. Do I have to save this or it's just in? I think I had to save it. This is so confusing. Anyway, where do they hide the number of stupid level ups they gave us? I don't know why they hide that. That is kind of weird to me. Oh, there we go, Mike. Hold on, sorry. It's still not very oh, there it is. That's kind of weak though. But it's there. Yeah. I don't know why they hide the oh, there we go. I see what you're saying. There we go. Pro history. There's the Hall of Fame. Okay. Okay. Blue Tomato said, why do you like the My Club update? In my opinion, it doesn't make anything better. I think it makes the collections a lot better. I think, and strangely, I had this earlier and it was on, actually, does this work? Extend it out here. There we go. Yeah, like I like the look of that. I think it's cool. I think these are much better. I love that you can see how many points you are to your next level. If only another site had done that previously. But yeah, I think it's fine. And then, yeah, I mean, the gallery stuff is basically the same, right? Somebody was saying, Mike said, I bet it works better on iOS. Which 6 players are shown? Based on which criteria? 6 players where? On the, I don't even know where we're looking. But yeah, Juju's right here. If you want to see how many level ups, you just have to like go to actually boost a player and it'll show you. Which is really annoying because there's just so many. Of course, I pick a level 20 card that I can't even. Investor Dur said collections, you can slide the players raw. Oh, whoops, sorry. I didn't mean to take myself off. I assume they just show the ones that you got most recently. Although now that I'm doing this, maybe it's the opposite. I don't know. This is why I kind of wish they used to do blog posts, and this wasn't something that they regularly did, but I remember one, maybe it was after one of the Ryan Spoon announcements where they did like a whole blog post of like why they did stuff, or at least like how they came about doing the whatever the changes they made. And I wish they did more of that. And yeah, like that's a good question. Like why, like how are those 6 cards? Why can't I choose them? Andrea said, I really don't understand the hate towards level ups. I can highlight countless examples this season where my extra levels have won me more. I think the hate comes from people who have too many then they can't use them, or they have to use them in suboptimal ways because like they have them. And that bothers people. Mike said there used to be a criteria within the collection, most collection points, position, squad number. Yeah, to be honest, the only time I ever look at collections on Sorare versus Sorare data is to look at the leaderboard. And I think that might change. Let me see. So the collections were just updated on Sorare data mobile app. And do we have the leaderboards? No. No, we don't. Yeah. So I don't know what I don't know why they do it. Andrea said with in season, I would argue there really isn't suboptimal if you only look at it on a 1 season level. I disagree with that. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't use them, but like boosting a player from 3 to 4, 5, 6 is way worse, way suboptimal versus 8, 9, 10 to 10, 11, 12 or whatever. Brown said in limited, I prefer market credits. In rare, super rare, I prefer level ups. In unique, I prefer essence. It really depends. Makes sense. Skosker. I think I've always said Skozer, and I realize there's an extra K in there. Anyway, I still think a sticker album designed for collections would be the way to go. I think that's a cool idea. I agree with that. Anian said there is a quote almost perfect time unquote to boost an in-season card to have an advantage for the most duration of the season. Andrea said I used 15 levels on Real Madrid early first game week. I had 1.5% extra than everyone else. Yeah, but the problem is that everyone else can catch up because those first levels are so quick. And so by the time you're at 7, 8, and 9, like they're close to. And if they can boost above that, you're never going to catch up to them. And you have to win those first game weeks. And as we've learned from all of the people who built Real Madrid collections, they didn't. Because it's all we hear about from those people. Maybe not you, Andreas. But there's nothing more that people who built Real Madrid collections like to talk about than how disappointing Real Madrid have been this season and how bad divisions are because Real Madrid can't just stay in Division 1 and let them crush everybody. Raku. Hello, it's a new name for me. So hello. Thanks for coming. Unrelated topic. That's what this show is all about. But are there any plans to change the lineup predictions? I think some changes could improve the quality of the predictions. Yes. The answer is yes. There are absolutely planned changes. And we're in the middle of a very, very, very big project for Sorare data. And once that settles down, and not once that settles down, because we're doing the projection stuff concurrently, but we need to finish this rather large project first. But we talk about lineup projections all the time. And we agree that they're not where they should be right now. And there are multiple things that we are going to do to change them. And yeah. Also about Sorare data topic, any plan to show in-season floor price for the player rankings? I use that page to scout. I actually thought we did that, but no, it was for the rewards page. The quick answer to you is yes. Mostly because that page is going to be very different soon, or at least look different. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me just check something here. I almost don't, well, I don't want to show you guys because it's not 748. It's not my place to show. There are some things I'm willing to show you guys, but I think this one is a little farther away, so I don't want to. Man, you guys are going to really like these new updates one day. But the answer is yes. Yes. Philly Dilly, another Sorare data question. Any plans to incorporate Essence into the SO5 utility page? I think we can't, because I don't think there's any information in the API about where your boxes came from. Like we know what competitions you won boxes in, but we don't get the information of what was in that box. If I remember correctly, in terms of like how much essence you get. So I don't think we can do that. But I know, like, Sorare claims that they're going to show like your breakdown of competition essence. I assume that's what you really want. Well, I guess you really want to see how much essence like a certain card has won, but essence is so random anyway that it's like, it almost doesn't, not that it's random. Well, it is, but like a card like won 300 essence for you, like it's not about the card. It's just about what the RNG gave you when you open that box. Investor Der said somehow all Sorare data UX decisions are spot on. Yeah, I mean, so there's a giant benefit in being able to create things for the way that you play Sorare. That's not a fair way to say it. I'll just say that our designers are really, really good. And the fact that like all of us within Sorare data play Sorare quite differently allows for a lot of things to be discussed before we do anything. And very little, and from what I'm saying right now is only applies to Sorare data. Like I've said it before, literally minutes ago, I don't know how Sorare works on any of these things. And so like, I don't like to compare what we do on Sorare data to what they do on Sorare, because I don't know all of the things that they have to do. But I do know the things that we do on Sorare data. And Aurelian and Vasson, who are our two designers, they're just awesome. And I think it's very underrated how much of design goes into, or excuse me, how much of usability actually goes into design. And everyone's like, oh, does it look good? And like, sometimes something can look really good and it's just, it's unusable. And so you need to find this middle ground while also being accessible to hopefully everybody. And we've had some like color changes that some people didn't like, or we started using icons instead of colors because like some people can't see the colors, and everybody who can see the colors are just like, whatever, just use the colors. And it's like, we're trying to make this as accessible to everybody. And so everything we do goes through multiple steps, and it all starts with our designers, who obviously want to present something that looks great. And I think a lot of the stuff coming up like looks really, really good. But it also has to be usable. And so those are just things that we discuss a lot. I think I showed this previously, but just like, let me see if I'll just take a screenshot, because I can't really show this whole thing to you guys. And we've shown this before anyway, but like this is the new impact players. And it's just like stuff like this. It just like makes it look really good, but also like allows you to easily see like who's the most impactful player in the game week for this competition. This is Bundesliga Classic Division 1. 292 cards with Kimmich. I like how everybody blames Harry Kane. They were like, oh, if Kane hadn't gotten hurt, and like Kimmich scored 55, Upamecano 22, but it was Kane's fault. Anyway, so yeah, I from a design standpoint, like I do think Sorare Data's UX is better than Sorare, and I just say that because I work here and I genuinely think that. Is that limited and common on the left side? No, it's gold, silver, and bronze, Mike. That's what it is. Anyway. Is this page doing anything more than it was previously, or only cosmetic changes? What more do you want? I think as of right now, it's just cosmetic, but I don't think everything that we are doing is really there. Sorare Cumry, I just had a really extensive reply from Sorare Data to some feedback I gave about the site design. Oh, great. I wonder if that came directly from our designers or not. And Blue Tomatoes, thanks also to you, Laird, for working so well on the API. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not anywhere close without my work on the API. Yeah. But, and really, to back on this Sorare Cumry comment, like we're always open to feedback on stuff. Like it's not like we are more than happy to take feedback, and sometimes like we'll get suggestions like, hey, can you just do it this way? And we can kind of explain why we don't do it. Like there are a lot of things that people want that end up being like significant drains on like our, either on our database or on our servers. And it's just like, it's not as easy as just like, oh, just do this. And one of them that everybody loves to bring up is like, oh, just allow me to change the parameters for pick scores. Like if I think odds are the most important, or if I think form is the most important because you're a loser, or that you think you want to take out the lineup projections. And the problem with that is that pick scores are matchup dependent and player dependent. Excuse me, they're player dependent and competition dependent. So every time you make a change to whatever the pick score is, it has to recalculate every single player, because it's comparing every player against every other player. And that takes a significant amount of strain on our servers to have one person do it. And if everyone is doing it like all the time, there's just not like an easy way to do it. Sorare Cumry said the feedback came from Alexi about missing the flying goalies comp and the need for essence stats. Yes. So the flying goalie comp we knew was going to be a problem right away, because like since Sorare started, everything was position dependent. It was the first time that they did something that was out of that realm. And basically it's one of those things that like we would never really plan for, because like, why would you all of a sudden be able to play a forward in a goalkeeper spot? And it for a one time, like if that took us, I don't know how long it would take us to to change it, to allow for that. Like, is that worth it for a single competition, like a single game week? And The answer was like, obviously, no, it is not worth it, which is why we did not do that. And I actually think that may have contributed to part of my game week being feeling a little wonky because I was like building lineups and then I'm like, oh, I have these leftovers. And then it's like, oh, I also have the flying goalie. Like, I don't think I won anything in flying goalies. Let's see. Did we win anything? 95 points, 100. Oh, there we go. Oh, I finished 35th in rare. How about that? Huh. What does that get me? A tier 3? Let's see who's in there. I don't know any of these people. I mean, I know some of them. Watch me win Nuno Tavares again. Anyway, don't look at the pool. I have zero expectations. As long as there are contender guys in there, which I know there are, like they're the contender, the notifications are, or the expectations are gone. Just got a notification that Leschuk scored for Dynamo Moscow, literally a flying goalie with perfect timing for the stream. Did he really just score a goal? That's fun. I mean, I don't have them, but that's fun, like as a thing. Everyone said you have to look at the bottom of the pool. A common mistake. Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's no reason for me to look at a player pool of 400 players and being like, what can I win? But maybe we'll just do that. Let's see. Tier 3 for flying goalie rare. Tier 3 at the top is Ko Itakura from Gladbach. And the bottom is scrolling. I know I could have just gone straight down, but I wanted to show how big it was. Felix Gertza. Is he related to Mario? Probably not. Who else is down here? Ian Matson, Tarkovsky, Dario Osorio. That would be fun. I could use that for a collection specifically. Eriksson, if he goes back to Denmark, not bad. Kakare. I know some of these guys. But yeah, I've already won. Oh no, different Sander. James Ward-Prowse. Man, what a fall. Oh, it is his brother. Younger bro. Way to be. All right. But I don't know. Where was I going? What were we talking about? I don't know. Are the new Danish Superliga cards in the pools? Is there a... Yes, is the answer. There's Andreas Hansen, excuse me. So yeah, 3 spots below Xerxes. Man, there's some random people. 95th minute equalizer from a corner. That's fun. That is very fun. Anyway, so yeah, what were you talking about? Oh, the flying goalie. Oh, the feedback. Yeah, so that's why like it was very difficult for us, and I think the way that we set up even like the lineup results is positional based. So it just wasn't worth it from a dev standpoint. Now, if it's something that Sorare starts to do regularly, maybe we do, but like that, I think that's one of the things that we used to do fairly well because Sorare and Sorare data were in their infancies, and it's very difficult now to make like sweeping adjustments for a single game week. Now, that's not to say like we won't do it, but a lot of our dev time over the last few years has been about streamlining things and making it so that when Sorare make changes, we can quickly make adjustments. But like doing brand new things like this, at least now, is just, it's not, from the dev's perspective, it's just not that easy. And yeah, that's why we don't do it. And that ends up being a big reason why some of the things that get suggested to us just they don't not that we don't think they're bad ideas, because there are some very good ideas. They're just like technically so difficult that it's almost impossible to justify the time spent on them versus the other things that we're trying to work on. And like the list of things that we have in our queue is not short. Like there's so many things that we want to do, but there are only like so many of us, and there are only so many hours in a workday, and there are only so many hours in a full, in the 24 hours, and so roughly 24 of them. And we have to prioritize things. We're not a billion-dollar company. We don't have hundreds of employees, and even billion-dollar companies with hundreds of employees have priorities, and you need to figure out what the most important things are for your company and for your users, and to keep your users happy while also making money for your company. And so that's what I mean. As much as like we're not that big of a company, like Sorare Data is a company, like we have to make money to survive, and we have full-time employees that have bills to pay and people to feed, and memberships to Sorare Data is what helps the whole site go. Like that, Sorare Data it cannot be done like it is now with like one person taking their free time to do it, which is why Maxime decided to create a company out of it, because we saw that Sorare Data could be great if it was a legitimate company, which we are. So yeah, like keep the feedback and the suggestions coming. I will say that I'm always amazed at how many ideas we already have in the pipeline. When people are like, it'd be really cool, and you're like, oh yeah, we thought of that months ago. So yeah. Blue Tomato said, is Scosmo quitting Sorare? Ignore the comment if you don't want to talk about it. I don't know. I know that Scosmo is not like wasn't having fun anymore at all, and Sorare basically became quite negative for him. And I know he's had a couple good results in the last few weeks in terms of like in-season super rare, but ultimately, yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to him like directly in a while. Let's see. I know he bought an Ashley Young super rare recently. Did he sell all of his cards? Let's see. Maybe. Yeah, this is him. No, I mean, he hasn't sold everything. I don't know. But his new handle, his new name is Sorare is Dead, which is a bummer. Oh no, Super Rare is dead. Excuse me. And he has 85 Super Rare, so it's probably the same thing to him. Ricardo Romao. Hello. Prioritizing is hard. It is. Not my job too, which is great. Mike said, it's great that Sorare Data manages to get as many new specials on the site considering the short notice Sorare gives. Yeah, so part of it is, part of the reason we're able to do this is because the part of the work that we've done over the last year or two is making like the lineup builder get information directly from Sorare, including like the game rules, like if it's specialist or whatever, and having those feed directly in the lineup builder. And the only negative with that is that we're like relying on the information in the API to be correct. So there are times, like I saw some feedback when I was trying to catch up earlier today. People on Friday were complaining about how the export button wasn't working. And I know that the export button wasn't working on Friday because it did not work for me because Sorare's website was down. And it's like, well, that's why it didn't work. Now, you can make the argument that I don't know what we should have done. Actually, I'm not sure you can make an argument that there was something that we could do because we can't go fix Sorare. But the um, the reliance on Sorare maintaining their API and having it be working is like vital for us. But a lot of the work that we did specifically with the lineup builder, in order for us to get those into the lineup builder as quickly as possible, which is also why sometimes, they could announce something that's happened. Like I don't think we have the special comp in for game week 45 with the Christmas card special, because that's not in their API yet, because they only go a few game weeks out. It's a tough one to build now anyway, because it's specialist and there are going to be so many games before then. So L15s change and all that stuff. But Blue Team Mouse, yeah, SRID is a great. Super Rare is Dead is a great handle. It's funny, you don't see many. Now Skazmo is a West Ham supporter, so he's clearly building a West Ham limited collection. Who do they have in game week 45? They have something fun that he could play in that special. Home against Crystal Palace. Ooh, I see what you're doing, Skazmo. But you don't see many galleries with 33 limited cards, 85 super rares, and 3 rares. I wonder what the rares are. Wonder why he keeps these. Santi Comesania, Fernando Calero, who I won and may still have, and Hassan Kurasai. I don't know. Do I still have this? Oh, I do. There it is. From Espanol. Won 2 rewards. Thanks, Nando. Anyway. Yeah. So there's that. You guys have anything else? I'm going to be back with Harry tomorrow talking about lineup hiding. Where's the exit? Says, liked. Thank you. How's it going, Elias? Yeah, hopefully Elias is better. Although we've got 2 months now until he plays again, which is a real bummer. The end of the first half of the Danish Superliga really snuck up on me. Although they do have some. So they come back in game week 53, which is sometime in February, but they have 3 Europa League ones: away to Porto, away to Ludogorets, and home against Fenerbahce, which those aren't fun. But utility, that's cool. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Got a soft spot for that club. Just always. Where are they? I have 2 jerseys on my other wall that I'm going to have to get up at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't really, it's just funny when I was thinking about this topic, I was going to ask people to submit their like gallery name. And it was like, oh, let's go through your lineups this week to like figure out where you went wrong. And I don't think that's that helpful, because sometimes it's just like, oh, that, you go through somebody's lineup and you're like, oh, that was really dumb. And that doesn't make them feel any better. And the other side is like, oh, that's just bad luck. Like, I think people, if they want to be real with themselves, can probably make a concerted effort to say, why did I not do well? And they'll understand it. Yeah, they would. How many pounds did you put on over Thanksgiving? I was about to say, like, I didn't overeat that much, but I literally ate like a third of a pumpkin pie today. So it's still going. But I ran on Thursday for the first time in 2 years. Actually went for a run in the rain. There's a popular thing now. I mean, it's been going on for years, but it's become more popular in my neighborhood it's a turkey trot. So you run however amount of miles, kilometers, whatever, before you eat. And I did this on Thursday in the rain. It rained here all day. It was gorgeous Wednesday, gorgeous Friday, rained all day Thursday when I had this run. And the first year they did it, I think this is the 5th year. The first year they did it, they billed it as a 5K. And I ran it and I was like, this is not 5K, it's actually more. And now they call it a 3+ mile run. It was 3.47 miles. And I was saying to somebody afterwards, I ran it. I forget what my exact time was, but my pace was 8:59 8:59 miles. And had I been at 9:01, I would have been like, all right, that was cool. Like I'm done. But because it was under nine, I was just like, man, maybe if I started to like actually run, I could get, and I'm like, what am I thinking? I hated every minute, every step I took of that run. It was wet and raining. And it was a charity fundraiser and everybody had a good time. And I had a few drinks afterwards at 9 o'clock in the morning when I was done. And then it was all okay. So yeah, that's all. Ryan Walter, I didn't captain Armani because a streamer told me never to captain a goalkeeper, but I should have thoughts. Who told you? I don't know why anybody would ever tell you not to captain a goalie. I will say that I'm pretty sure none of my Armani lineups did anything that exciting. Like here's a bad luck one. Armani, Diaz wasn't even that great, but I got 100 from my goalie. Decisive, 4 decisives, but this Zinc own goal or error led to goal, whatever it was. Like this lineup could have been great. But then this one could have been great, but now I'm falling to a tier 5 because I'm in Division 2. I assume I'm getting promoted there. And then contender in season, Batarina, error led to goal or whatever it was. Whoops. What did this donkey do? Yeah, error led to goal. Unbelievable. Here's another Franco Armani one. This one wasn't bad. Douglas Santos, like fairly, I guess 30 AA. But like, what is Zenit doing conceding 3 goals to this fake team? Kriala Sovatov Samara losing 3-2 at home. What are we doing? And don't even get me started on these guys, Sanfrecce guys. Ugh. Anyway. You guys got anything else? I got Harry trades back tomorrow on Tuesday. And Wednesday, I don't know what we have going on Wednesday. But then Sorare Andrew's back on Thursday. And then, yeah. Wasting a 95 from Vonnetzek is crazy. I had him somewhere else too, because I've won him twice. Where is my other one? Here he is. He did okay in this one. So yeah, that's it. We need to get M-Pen and Yauza on for a second half bet. That's a good one. Maybe they should each come on for like, excuse me, they each come in with like three awards or prizes, excuse me, for the other, and see if they agree on one. Yeah, we'll try that. Let me find out. Let me see what they want to do. We'll get them on. Anyway, that's all I got. So until tomorrow, thank you to everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. And I'll be back tomorrow with Harry. And if there's any specific topic you want Harry and I to touch on that's outside of Harry hiding all of his lineups, like I said, always open to feedback. So bring it on. And yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Don't forget to get your steps in.